Hello, welcome to a new video of Dynasty 1. Today we are going to talk about another tutorial, and this time is for mid-game players. So what is the mid-game? The mid-game for me is around level 80 to level 100. You're definitely going to have probably 6, 7, maybe even 8 7-star heroes. And maybe you have some unparalleled, probably like 4 unparalleled, and then you have 4 awakened hero. So you're starting to get a lot of maxed level heroes, not including the transcending because that's still relatively new. So you will be having some weekend hero, and but for me by level 100 I think I have 4 unparalleled hero, and then I also have 4 weekend hero, and I believe one of them is a common 7-star actually. So it is okay to awaken common 7-star if you find them very useful, and most of them are very useful, and I'll be going over that as well in this video. So again, I'll be covering a lot of things in this video, but before I tell you the major topic I'll talk about, the first thing is your headquarter level. You should be at headquarter 11 or 12 at this point, because your main buildings, your important buildings should be leveled up already, and you should start to get into headquarter 11 and 12, because in this case you unlock everything basically. And then it's important to unlock everything, but what that means is you also need to spend a lot of resource upgrading everything. Then the next thing I want to talk about is your alliance camp. If your alliance camp is like level 7, that's too low. You need to upgrade it, probably to, let's see how much is this. This is only 28. Yeah, so with max, I think at max is you can have 40, so that will be level 10. So at least level 8, level 9, because you get level 10 at the headquarter 12. So you need the alliance camp to hold more alliance troops. The other thing is your technology. Make sure you have these technology research in your alliance and you learn them. And for some reason I cannot load it, but that's fine. You know what this is. Make sure that you get those as well, because it will be important to for your future resource output. So a couple things I'll talk about, I'll list them. So territory, I'll talk about territory, treasure, defense, heroes, troops, Imperial College and tricks, defense academy, and your other resource. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different topic. So this might be a longer video than last time, and each topic I might have to go into even more detail because there are more stuff that's happening in here. So territory, it doesn't matter if what level your territory is, and doesn't matter what level base you are. If you have if you're in a better alliance, and you have more of an advantage, but that's still fine because there's a couple of things you need to do in here. The first thing is a legend. You always need to do the legend because they're pretty easy. But as you can see, I didn't do any here. But what you get to do is once you do these legend, you level up the legend level, and you get legend skill. Now most of these are not really that useful. Like within this legend, works in this legend, your soldiers, your troops and heroes get more DPS, get more HP, whatever. And however, there are some skill that benefits everything, even outside of the territory. For example, this one, you get more gold, and then I think this one you get healing time. You get more farm, and at a higher level you get actual DPS and HP for your heroes in all battle. And later you also get the one that gives you more gem production as well. So there's 4 of them. Make sure you do them every day. And on top of that, it's important to do these because you get small bags of beads, and you get the emblems, which are used to enhance your seal platform. Also very important. Next thing is make sure every day you go to your earnings and claim your earnings. So on the left, there is some numbers to tell you how much gold bricks output and silver output you have in your alliance, and make sure you claim it every day. You can see who claim how much, how many is left. Doesn't really matter, just claim yours every day. The silver, if you're not the leader or the vice leader, you don't have to care about this at all, because only the leader and vice leader can use the silver on improving the territory, and that's pretty simple as well. So next thing is make sure you do the explore in here, which I'm gonna do right now, and we have full silver anyways. Uh, so doing this, yes, it gives you silver and give you reputation for you to use in your seal platform. But the other thing is you do get a box, a treasure chest at the end and get some rewards. And this reward is not really that great, but some are better, as well as getting the territory experience, which will level up your territory. And by when that happens, you can level up these buildings. And what happens is your gold brick output will increase, so you get more gold brick every day. More gold bricks means you can obtain more seal and get more seal and possibly getting some good seals, as well as breaking them down to get more emblem. And the next thing is obviously participate in territorial war. Even if you lose, you just lose silver. You also get gold bricks, and you also get a chest to possibly get some seal as well. But for losing, you only get blue or purple. When you win, you can get purple or red and get more gold brick. These gold brick depend on your base level. So if you have a lower base level, you get less for winning or losing. If you have a higher, you get more. And this is not the most important part. The most important part is the war loot. Make sure you participate in the war, because the more you destroy, the more the enemy territory you destroy, the more resource you get. So the first one you always get when you declare the war, you get the reputation, which I don't really care. But what I really care is this 20,000 beads in total, 20 little bag of bead, which is important. Again, these I think depends on your base level as well, and you also get emblem, and very useful for refining your seal platform. Even more gold brick. So it's very interesting. I like this idea. I like the territory because the resource that they use is only generated in here. So you will not need to use your own resource. For example, you don't need to use gold, grain, beads, or even ingots or amulets. The only thing you need to use those is in the scheme. They don't really cost that much. You pay gold or beads to get schemes. You can pay ingots to buy more donation amount, but it's nobody. If you, I mean, if you have a full alliance of people donating, you don't really need to buy a lot of extra donation. But if your alliance is like mine, who cares? So that's territory. Next thing is treasure. I decided to talk about treasure first because at this point you should have at least 4 or 5 treasure, and it's really important to have one treasure for each type. Now again, this is by chance. So if you don't have it, keep making it until you have it, but that doesn't mean you want to destroy them. Make sure you don't destroy them. Make sure you don't split them because you might need it later. So what will be the most ideal? The most ideal is obviously for hero, you want to have a 7-star life lamp or the dragon broadsword, because you want to have offense. For offense, you really want sword hero and fan hero, and you have them. That's great because you will decide which hero you'll use based on these treasures. You don't really need to care so much on defense, so you don't need the magic armor. You don't really want the Emperor's bow because there is only a couple archer hero in the game, and they tends to be pretty weak early. And then for troops, you have 3 choice. You can have the bow, the which one is it? Right here, the nectar. Oh, I don't even know this is called a nectar, and then the south cannon. Okay, so for your archers, for your alchemists, and for your tiger warriors, the red hair, yes, it is good for only heavy cavalry, and I don't think it is that important. As well as the stealth book, not as important. Again, you don't really need to recast these, but if you have them, that makes it very easy to pick your troops. If you have the stealth book, I mean, you can use it with the warbreaker, right? The cards. So that's really another good option. If you have the bow, obviously you can use it for archers, bow cavalry, and dragon guard. If you have the south cannon is only alchemist, you can make your healers better too. Nectar is really tiger warriors and the new troop, but the new troop is like it's a very high level troop. I mean you need to have level 6 or level 7 advanced barracks, so you probably won't have it at this point. Now for defense, If you have the arrow or the tripod, is also very good because arrow, it works with your archer tower, your meteor crossbow, and your magic crossbow. And thunder tripod works with your thunder formation and purgatory tower. These are the really good ones. The blaze fall, blaze fall, uh, you don't really need it. I think it's not as strong as the other two, but if you have it, maybe you can get some really good stats on it as well. But again, don't really need to recast it at this point. You can start to do it, but I'll talk about that. And this map, you need I think like 400 something amulet to exchange for it. I mean, I don't even have it. I don't think it's an early game thing. You can do it at like a later time. So in terms of recasting, for example, each treasure has a star attribute. Some has one, and some has two. So whenever you get your treasure and you decide to, oh, let's spend some grains on it, because the first time you only use grains. You don't have to use ingots. And when you use grains, that's fine. You can do it anytime. So you can always recast it as long as you're only using grain. So what that means is you always want the star treasure. So the star attribute. So you do the star attribute first. You get your star attribute, a percentage that you like, and then you stop and lock that. Because once you lock it, you need to use 50 ingots per recast. So that's why you don't go for anything else. You go for the star attribute first. Because I'm not sure about this, but people told me the star attribute is the most difficult to get. So make sure you get your star attribute that you want first. Maybe Thunder Formation, you get like 200 something, then oh, that's good enough. Then you lock your Thunder Formation. So make sure the percentage is high as well, because once you lock it, it doesn't change at all. So if you have a Thunder Formation of HP plus 33%, yeah, it's star, but it's bad. So you can use it, but don't lock it. Make sure you get a good enough percentage, and then you lock it. Because the first attribute you lock is 50 ingots, and the second attribute you lock is 100. So make sure you don't spend all your ingots at this point of the game, because treasures are not your priority right now. Now, after the treasure, we are going to talk about your defensive structures. And your defensive structures actually depends on your treasure. If you have the tripod, make sure you upgrade your Purgatory Tower and Thunder Formation first. If you have the arrow, make sure you upgrade Magic Crossbow and your Archer Tower. And that's really that's simple. But that's only what you level up first. But again, before you move on to the next level, always Thunder Formation, Purgatory Tower, and Magic Crossbow max them down first. And it's pretty easy like that. And war level, your wars. In my main account, I level up my headquarter until I finish the walls. Up until headquarter level 8. After that, it's impossible. It's just too much coins, too much gold to do that. And so what I'm trying to say is, if you have the time early on, make sure you stay on top of it. Make sure your wall level is as high as your headquarter level. Because once you get into headquarter 9, headquarter 10, you have so many walls and they cost so much each of them, you won't be able to level them up as easy as you want. So that's it for walls. Next thing, heroes. You should have 6 to 8 7-star already, maybe 3 to 4 weakened hero already. Possibly you might have them up to 15 out of 15 and 5 out of 5. You might not, and that's fine. For example, like here, I got 13 out of 15 and 1 out of 5, and you don't have to care about the transcending yet. So, but what I'm going to talk about is your unparalleled hero, because for me, both of my main account, when I hit level 100, before 100, I already got 4 for awakened hero, and then I have 4 unparalleled hero as well. So you can also, as I said earlier in the video, you can awaken common 7-star as well if they are useful, if they're good, and I'll talk about that different combination as well. But in terms of picking your unparalleled hero, which one you want to pick, you really, if you can, make sure you look at the destiny. So for example, in here I would need Zhuge Liang, so I should go for Zhuge Liang first. And you know what, like, because last video on the early game I talk about your first hero being Heroine or Zhuge Liang. So in there you can see what you want. For example, you might want to get Zhao Yun for your heroine, but then you say, well, Zhao Yun is pretty weak. True, but Zhao Yun can also activate partnerships for Guan Yu. Maybe the next one you actually want is Guan Yu as well. And then Zhao Yun actually also activate the partnership for Ghostfire as well. And I think that's it. So you can look at things like this, and but let's say, oh, this Destiny route ended. Then who might you want to go for? Well, pick someone you like. For one of my kind, I went for Lubu, and then I went for Daochan because they needed each other. And then when I have to pick my 777, then I was like, easy, I'll pick Lady because she requires Lubu, and then Lady also requires Heroine, and then I went for Heroine. So in this case, if you do it like this, you can make sure your partnerships, your destinies are satisfied, you have more HP, more damage. Now, that's one way. The other way to do it is depending on your treasure. That's actually more important. Both are important because you can get basically the same amount of increase, but one is kind of free. The destiny is free as long as you get the hero. The treasure, even if you get the treasure, you need to recast until you get the attributes. And the other way to play is just your preference. I mean, whoever you like, go after whoever. So after you get your awakening hero, and last video I talked about what you do with your prestige, you get the jade for your desired fashion. So you can start upgrading their awakening skill, and you can refer to my upping the skill playlist to see if your hero needs to upgrade their skill at all. So next thing I'll talk about is your common 7-star. So there are a couple good combination to use. Or they have different uses, let's put it this way. So Sima Yi and Pang Tong are very good for Alliance Dungeon. And Sima Yi also very good for later game if you decide to awaken him for offense. And Pang Tong is also decent in the mid to late game defense. So that's another possibility you want to awaken. The other duo is the Huangzhong and Guojia duo, which is right here, Guojia and Huangzhong. I don't recommend awakening them, but if you have them, that's good because they can loot and raid easily. Both of them are kind of dependent on both of them for looting beats in the mid game. So if you have them, keep them because you could use them to loot easily. They have range and their skills are powerful enough to do enough damage to destroy buildings, get 50% or get the beats as well. The next combination, which is also pretty popular right now, is the Jiang Wei Ma Chao, obviously. Both of these, you can awaken them. They will be used for the later game. For me, I use Jiang Wei Ma Chao Sima Yi first, like a long time ago with Heavy Cavalry and some random, I think even with Zhao Yun, because that's my first unparalleled hero. What you do is pretty simple. Ma Chao jump over wall, so it doesn't matter what the wall level is. And then Jiang Wei can stun the enemy. Sima Yi buff the troops. So you don't have to use this combination, but these two common 7-star work really well. You can use any other two hero with them, and they could do pretty much the same effect. And then you also have Zhao Yu and Zhang Zhao. Good for offense, defense, good for clearing out 50%, good for offense, good for defense, good for awakening, whatever. So you can awaken them. Both of these are good enough to awaken, to invest in the early game. They might tend to be a little bit weaker early on, but they can become stronger, and that's why I do suggest awakening them. Guojia, I do not suggest awakening him. Huangzhong, not really, because you need you don't have the damage partnership, then his skill actually sucks. Doesn't do enough damage, let's put it this way. And heroes that you should not even care about is Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei is a shield hero, but in the mid game, you do not have the partnerships, the destinies to give him HP, so he dies really quickly. And then you have Holy Hua Tuo again. You need Guan Yu as the destiny, so he has less HP, dies easily. Not really that important in my opinion. And then you have Tiger Sun Jian, which requires heroine, so another thing that makes him weaker, and he's actually pretty bad and still very bad even after transcending. So there are 3 heroes that you do not need to touch. There is one hero, Guojia, that you don't want to awaken. Huangzhong you might consider awakening, but the other common 7-star actually awakenable. Okay, they will be useful in a later time. Peng Tong not really, but Zhang Wei, Ma Chao, Sima Yi, Zhou Yu, and Zhang Zhao are pretty good choice as well. And then the next thing is troops. What troops should you invest in? And last time I talked about you should need to pick your choice, and that's in the early game. You can try them out level 1 and see what it is, but in mid game you can't really try them out anymore. The enemy you're facing are much stronger. You need to level them up. So if you have to pick and you still haven't, decide this based on your treasure. See, I talked about treasure earlier, and I said, well, if you have the bow, the nectar, or the south cannon, then you can use those to decide, okay, which troops do you really want to invest in and get them stronger. And this is pretty simple. Make sure you pick one in each category, so the damage, the tank, and then focus on upgrading them. The next thing is the Imperial College or your tricks. So in the first video, I said don't have to care about it. You just need to do it and get the trick essence, and you can upgrade it. So I think mine is at level 4. I think the max is level 7 or level 8. So you can get your tricks up to like I think level 20 or level 25. But for me, I didn't even get it up to that high. But there's 5 tricks right now. 3 of them are very useful. Thunderbolt, the first one you have, most likely you will have upgraded this already, the cheapest. Pretty easy to use. Just hit whatever you want to hit. Holy Fire, good for clearing out Alliance camp. But as you get into the late game, this needs to be very high level to kill the high level troops. So depends on what you want. And then if you have a higher level Imperial College, you get the Deterrence, which increase attack speed and movement speed. So this will be very useful with Zhang Wei and Ma Chao. The combination that you rush in and try to do as much melee damage. So this will be a good choice for it. Other than that, if you don't plan on doing it, Thunderbolt and Holy Fire is your way to go. Holy Water and Iron Wall are pretty bad. I did upgrade them for one of my account and used them for a long time. I still haven't seen like really good thing for them. So I would say at least get it to like around level 10, and then it starts to get very expensive. Then forget about it. You don't really need it until late game. Then the next thing is Defense Academy. Same thing in the last video I told you don't have to care about it in early game, but you do have to come in here and do the master search, as you can start accumulating the resource on the bottom, the ingredient, and then you can upgrade these tech. In order to upgrade the tech, you need to do the single player campaign. So if you don't do it like me, I can't do anything, even if I have the resource and the material. So again, which one do you want to do? Well, depending on your treasure. If you have really nice magic crossbow, then do magic crossbow. If you have some really nice purgatory tower, then do the purgatory tower. If you have really nice archer tower, then do the archer tower. Just like that. If you have a lot of resources, then do everything. And it gets very expensive. You don't really need to do the common search because if you start doing master search and doing every day, sometimes they give you like ingredients, material as well. So if you do the master search every day, you accumulate a lot as time goes on because you don't use this every day. And that's basically for Defense Academy. Upgrade it to the level that you need, and pretty much you can stop. Now, let's talk about the other resource that we did at the end of our last video. The resource, again, your ingots should be for God of Wealth event to exchange for amulets. You can use some to recast, but only some. And your amulet, again, exchange for 7-star, regen order, or wait for 777 amulet hero. Hero seal, emblem, talk about it earlier, do your territory stuff to keep saving them up, you will need it later. Treasure, fragment, and dust, again, keep doing it, you will need it later. And you would start using it if you start recasting. But if you play the game early, like early game, everything right, and not wasting stuff and do everything, you have accumulated a lot of dust already. Soulstone, Transcend Stone, you will have a lot. Hopefully, you have a lot of Transcend Stone, but you don't need them at all. And you'll be running out of Soulstone because after 3 or 4 Awakening Hero, that's 4 Awakening Hero will be 340 Soulstone already. So a lot of the savings from early game is depleted, and you need to keep saving them, okay? Because you need Soulstone for Awakening Hero and Transcending Hero. War Scrolls and Heroes souls, hopefully you start to accumulate some amount already because you do not have a lot of low level hero to keep leveling up and combining. You should start to have a decent storage, decent saving for them. And then Prestige again, At this point, if you're really into awakening skill, if your hero really need awakening skill, then keep going for the soul jade. If not, you can start spending some of them on your soul stone as well. So this is pretty much the mid game. A lot of stuff to do, and you really need to have at least 4 awakening hero for offense. They don't have to be all unparalleled, as long as you know how to use them and they're good for offense. Because once you get into late game, or even in mid game, once you get into level 100, there is a lot of without 4 unparalleled hero, without 4 awakened hero, it's really difficult to get into to destroy to get even 50% on someone else's base. Obviously, you also need like at least 5-star or 6-star troops, which will be equivalent maybe like 2 level below max level troops. Put it that way, because some troops have higher stars and some troops doesn't. So maybe 1 or 2 level below the maximum level troops. That should be where you are, and you'll be doing pretty well in this case. But that is it for this video. Let me know again if you have any questions, you want to know more detail about a specific thing, specific topic that I went over in this video, and I'll go over that. I'll answer your questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.